Linda Fox. I am senior reporter with PhocusWire. I'm at the World Aviation Festival, and we're in the studio in partnership with Pros. I'm here with Jerome Thil.
Yes.
He's VP for Digital Innovation at Singapore Airlines. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Linda.
So I know that recently you launched an app challenge, and I think you've just closed off applications for it in the last few weeks, if I've read correctly.
That's correct, Linda.
So tell me, first of all, what your hopes are for the app challenge, why you've done it.
Well, we have a end-to-end engagement program with startups, right? App challenge is the initial stage where we start learning about, their capabilities, their skills, their willingness to work with us and collaborate with us, right? So it's a very large hackathon. Actually, I think it's probably the largest hackathon in the airline industry
to date.
At this point to date, yeah. So what we expect from this is for those startups to get to learn about us and for us to learn about them. So it's like an initial contact, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, what can we do together? So we publish our pain points, our business challenges, and we're looking for them to come with a certain level of empathy. By empathy, I mean really getting to understand what exactly we're trying to solve, right? And if they put enough effort and understanding in the business challenge itself, instead of trying to push their own solution, right, at any cost, then it's a good beginning, right? And so we have a process of selecting probably somewhere between 10 to 20 finalists who have shown a real ability to address this business challenge and solve the pain point we're talking about through a prototype. We're not asking for a solution.
Okay.
We're asking for a prototype which is compelling enough to get our CEO's attention, because our CEO is attending every App Challenge finale, as well as our leadership team. And out of those 12 finalists, those who are really convinced, our senior leadership staff, they have an opportunity to join the acceleration program, which is the second stage of engagement with startups, where it's about building a solution and not only a prototype.
And are you pleased with the volume of applications, and two, the quality of applications?
Yeah, I think we probably benefit from the brand, right? I mean, Singapore Airlines is new in innovation space, right? Mm-hmm. We launched our innovation blueprint in January 2018. Right? Even though we were running App Challenge before, but it was more on a regional scale and a limited scale. Now it's becoming really a big blast over the world. I mean, we have 73 countries participating, like over 1,500 startups joining, right? I think we probably benefit from this brand recognition. Mm-hmm. So people want to help us solving our problems, right? They want to join us. The quality, I mean, of course, the higher the volume, the higher the choice, the higher the chance you get some good quality really out of there.
Yeah. Okay, good. So the other thing that you've done this year, which is quite exciting in the sort of digital innovation space, is the Chris Lab.
Yes.
And I think that was February, and I think it's kind of like a pet project for you, I understand.
Yeah, it's very close to my heart because the reason is because, we are looking at transforming Singapore Airlines, right? We're looking at moving Singapore Airlines to the digital age. And when we talk about transforming the company, it's all about transforming people. But how can we transform people?
Sure.
It's the toughest thing to do on Earth.
Are you talking there about getting people on board, as in culturally?
Exactly.
Okay.
So here's the trick. Here's the way we do it. Anyone can come to Chris Lab with an idea, and submit an idea. It can be a very short, 5 lines of text. And if the idea makes sense, if we want to explore the idea, they're gonna own the idea. They're gonna prototype it. They're gonna go through a process of building the POC, a proof of concept, right? And eventually going all the way through delivering a solution. So imagine for a cabin crew, for a pilot, for a procurement specialist, for a lawyer, going through this experience is a transformation journey.
Sure.
So we've had so far something like 60 prototypes built over the last 18 months. Probably around 100 people involved. So 100 people have gone through this experience of doing something about innovation. And that's a transformation process. So we want to bring probably somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 people to this process, because we believe that once we reach a certain number of employees, we believe that 10 to 15% will probably be a threshold by which we will trigger the entire company transformation. That innovation will be embraced and welcomed by everyone. So that's what we're looking at.
So it's about the feelers going into the wider company to...
Yeah, because think about it, 10% is in every team, in every department across the company, in every plane, there should be a cabin crew, there should be someone who has gone through this experience and who can help the others And it's like the viral effect we're looking at,
And
right?
you think they're going to be evangelists for us?
And they become more than that because they become, they shine. We are not doing innovation. My team is not doing. We're creating innovators.
Okay.
So those people become true innovators, and they shine. They come, and every 2 months we have a demo day where they come and present their prototypes to our leadership team, including CEO. CEO is sitting every 2 months. He's sitting in front line, listening to these employees coming and presenting and carrying on with an innovation program, a digital innovation. There are no coders by any means. I usually say everybody can sing, yet not everybody is a musician.
Sure.
So we take care of the music, we are the musicians, and we make you sound great, by doing the programming, the coding, which is required behind the scene. So that's the way we do it.
So can you share any kind of successes so far?
Yeah, I mean, we have many. I just mentioned 60 prototypes, right? Out of those 60 prototypes, 11 are now in implementation.
Okay.
Whether it's a new feature in the mobile app, or whether it's a very important move like ChrisPay, it's a blockchain e-wallet, so you can use it. You can download ChrisPay from Apple Store or Google Play, and you can actually use your KrisFlyer miles to buy a cup of tea, buy a pair of shoes, right? So that's what we brought in to help people micro-burning their miles if they cannot redeem through booking a flight. Right?
Sure.
And of course, this is just the first move in a global move, which is moving our entire loyalty program to the blockchain, so that our miles become a currency that can grow within the ecosystem and through partnerships.
Okay. So the idea of the kind of service element for an airline like Singapore, with balancing that, marrying that with technology, because often in Asia there's an expectation, a high touch expectation. So how great a role in that sense does technology play? That's
a very good question. Thank you for asking this. This is what keeps me awake at night. Because the risk is, how far do you push digital innovation? If it becomes a substitute to service excellence, we do something wrong. Right? Let me give you an example. I was in Japan not so long ago, and I worked in an hotel which was all like digital, right? I had my check-in process, which was on mobile, on a kiosk, got my key as a digital key, opened my room, get in the room, order everything on an iPad. Morning after, walk out, check out through mobile. Right? No human touch, no human contact. Okay. How poor of an experience is that? Imagine 4 seasons.
Is that how you felt? You felt anonymous?
I felt it was a poor experience because there was no human connection.
Because there's lots of people who would like that.
Depending on, I would agree. Yeah. You would expect, depending on the positioning and the premium service that you pay for, you would expect at least a little bit of a human touch.
Hello.
Nothing wrong with seamless, but you want at some point, this care, this human care.
Yes.
So, as you know, Singapore Airlines has been always very, very cautious on bringing this extra care, this extra, what's the point of having a fantastic mobile app and fantastic digital services if everything from checking in the gate and going on the plane is a miserable experience and nobody cares for you. The only time they reach out to you is to sell you something. Yes. Imagine that, right? So that's something we really want to avoid as a company. So what we're doing is the motto, I think, is, and it's written nowhere. I'm just trying to make it, to articulate it. The motto is, we are here. My team is here to help people. Again, help our people, care for our people who care for our customers. The more we remove the pain points, the more we remove the friction in their current job, their daily job, and the more we get them to understand the value of getting equipped with digital solutions, so that they can really spend the quality time with our customers, whether they're ground staff or whether they are cabin crews, right? That's what we're looking at with innovation.
Okay. I'm interested to know, given that you've launched KrisLab this year and the innovation, I think you said last year, and then the app challenge also this year, how do you get your projects? How do you get the budget for your projects? How do you get past your CEO? You go to him and you say, I need this.
Singapore Airlines has always been innovative. We were the first company launching the in-flight entertainment service that everybody knows right now. And we have many first times, right? But the thing is, the culture in Singapore is very much, when you commit to something, when you say something, you commit to it. You get it done, right? So when the CEO made the move to launch the digital blueprint in 2018 January, we knew that this is going to be funded, that there's going to be governance, that there's going to be. We have a KrisLab, we have a physical lab which came out of the ground in 3 months. So Singapore Airlines, when the decision is made, we get it executed. Right? That's really very much the culture at Singapore Airlines. So from a funding standpoint, from a getting things done standpoint, it's really working. It's moving really seriously.
So your CEO is completely kind of open on board.
I mean, he knows everyone in my team by his name.
Okay.
So he's very, very much on board. I mean, we meet him every second week, every third week, to align and to discuss about, what are the priorities, what we should be doing. Yeah, he signed for that himself, personally, and which makes my job very, very, very much easier, even though I'm reporting to the CIO, because I think it's the IT organization is the right place to start with that. CEO is very, very close to what we're doing.
So as you said yourself earlier, before we came on camera, that there is a lot going on in the industry right now. So how do you prioritize your projects?
Again, very good question. I mean, the process of prioritization is that there is nothing we would do if it's not supported, number one, by an ID submitter, an employee. Mm-hmm. And it's limiting in some cases, but it's a conscious decision. And I can explain why. Number two, that it's supported by the business. Right? So everything we do goes through a curation process, which is, it's not us, because we wake up in the morning and we want to do something about blockchain. That's not going to happen. It has to solve a business pain point. Sure. It has to be, adopted by the business and supported by the business. So that's a very natural way of selecting those ideas. And from a prototype, as I told you, we have stages, right? We present the prototype. If the prototype makes sense, if it's approved by the leadership team, we're going to move it to the proof of concept stage, where we invest more time and resources. If it's proven that it's very useful and brings something valuable to the business, at the POC stage, we're going to move it to the incubation stage, which is going to implementation or going to market. So it's a very, very straightforward curating process, which is involving the leadership team in making the prioritization, the priorities, choosing the right priorities.
Yeah. Okay. So I believe there's quite a lot of smart city type projects going on in Singapore. Is that right? In terms of connectivity and
yes.
So does that then help you as an airline push the seamless traveller kind of idea?
Well, I mean, again, we are still in our very early stage, right? I mean, we are now looking very, very cautiously and carefully at how we can build, and I say carefully because we want to build, connective tissue with our partners in Singapore, right? Singapore as a nation is moving big time into the digital age, as you know, right? Mm. So, but the thing is, we have to make sure that we do it in a safe way, that we protect our customers' data. We don't want to do things which could put our confidential customer data at risk. So we are extremely cautious in the way we're building this ecosystem through connectivity, APIs, and so on and so forth. And we're just at the beginning of this journey. So we are now looking at how we can marry our operations, for example, with the airport, for example, with our aviation authority and with our regulation authority in a more dynamic way, exchanging bilateral communication. But this will take time, but there is a will. I mean, everybody agrees that this is inevitable, has to be tackled. It will take a few years to get there. Right? So yes, it's a momentum, it's a move, and the nation is going into that direction. But as usual with Singapore Airlines, we take one step at a time. We move it progressively. Okay.
So on the retailing and kind of ancillary front for the airline, obviously there's a lot of airlines moving in that direction, unbundling, selling additional services. Again, how do you balance that with the service element? Because those customers are not going to be expected to be sold to at every moment in time.
And again, this is very much driven by the business. There is no innovation or upsell program or funky mobile features that we would put in place if it's not really, really a decision which is coming from the business leaders, because they know, they have been successful in making Singapore Airlines what it is today, right? So we trust that they make the right choice to make sure that we protect our brand values, that we protect this customer care, and that we carry on with the heritage of the company, and we don't let digital overwhelm us, right? So we are helping the business to tackle those and to accelerate the process of going to market with innovation. Although we're not bypassing or walking around anything that they would decide. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's the way we do innovation today, and it's working pretty well. And I think being at the service and caring for people who care for our customer sounds trivial, but it's very much our motto. It's very much our guideline and what's guiding us every day.
Jerome, we have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Linda.